Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much for your kind introduction. Uh, so today I'm going to talk on a very important topic, pre-pregnancy counseling and screening of diabetes. So before that, I want to say no to cervical cancer, and according to me, best gift which we can give to our daughter is cervical cancer vaccination. Dahej mein ek saadi kam do, vaccination do. This is my mantra in OPD, and rest she will manage. So what is the diabetic burden in India? Every sixth person on this earth is who is having diabetes is from India, and India is having second largest number of diabetics after China, and this happens because of more visceral fat, less exercises, insulin resistance, carbohydrate rich diet, and hereditary. And gestational diabetic burden, there is a publication by Dr. Amrish Mittal, a very well-known doctor from Delhi. And according to him, it is very less in Kashmir, 3.8%. Maybe their non-vegetarian diet and a lot of exercises on hills. And very high in Lucknow, maybe because of their kebabs and sweets. It is more in cities than in rural areas. And overall incidence is 11 to 20%. So whenever we are sitting in OPD, we can come across two types of person, whether she is a known diabetic or over diabetic or gestational diabetic. If fasting is more than 126, random or PP is more than 200, we label them as diabetes. Gestational diabetes means any degree of glucose intolerance, which is diagnosed first time during pregnancy, and mainly it is seen in second trimester, but sometimes very commonly we are finding patient in first trimester also. Then it is very difficult to rule out whether she's a gestational diabetic or she's a already pre-gestational diabetic. Why we are worried in diabetics? Because molecular and cellular changes because of hyperglycemia starts very early in blood and body, and there are a lot of serious consequences of hyperglycemia in pregnancy, risk to mother and fetus, and in utero exposure to newborn can cause a lot of disease in later life. In adulthood, he can have diabetes, cardiac disease, hyperlipidemia, and most of these women, they develop frank diabetes after a few years. That's why we are really worried. We all know pregnancy is a diabetogenic condition because of placental hormones, insulin sensitivity. But in these patients who are more prone to develop gestational diabetes, they have some kind of pancreatic beta cell dysfunction and more chronic insulin resistance. And we all know hyperglycemia in mother causes hyperglycemia in fetus glucose can pass freely across placental membranes and placenta. This causes fetal insulinemia, and fetal hyperinsulinemia acts as a growth hormone. Insulin acts as a growth hormone in fetal life and causes macrosomia, and this process consumes a lot of energy, which causes an anoxia type state, depletion of oxygen, which causes release of catecholamines, and these catecholamines causes hypertension, erythropoiesis, cardiac remodeling, and lot of complication in fetus. And we all know organogenesis starts very early, from 3 to 6 weeks of conception. When patient is not aware she is pregnant, already GI, heart, brain, structural things are formed in her fetus. So very early normal glycemic control and very early normal HbA1c is very important to prevent teratogenicity in these ladies. Now, in some patient, we can advise termination also. If patient with diabetes is having grade 3-4 dyspnea with heart disease, or if she's having a proliferative retinopathy, or her creatinine is very high, more than 1.4 with renal disease, or she's having severe gastroparesis, and when she's having uncontrolled diabetes at the time of conception and she's really worried about her anomalies, then she can ask for termination of pregnancy. Now, two types of question we commonly hear in OPD. When the father is diabetic, is this going to affect the offspring? The answer is no. And when patient develops diabetes in second half, she gets worried when she reads on internet that is she going to have a defective fetus congenital anomaly, then the answer is no. Now, quickly, we must know all these complications, risk factors before doing counseling. There is risk of cesarean section in these patients, preeclampsia, polyhydramnios, PPH, preterm labor, worsening of renal function, progression of nephropathies, and ketoacidosis, hypoglycemia. Also, there are a lot of abortion scenes because of diabetes. Stillbirth risk is very high. Neural tube, cardiac, caudal regression syndrome, and fetal macrosomia can cause birth trauma, shoulder dystocia, Erb's paralysis, fetal cardiac enlargement, liver enlargement. All these complications are very common if patient is having hyperglycemia. So now coming to the screening, there are so many guidelines from different societies. DIPSI, I'm going to emphasize on DIPSI, Diabetes in Pregnancy Study Group of India. This is also adopted by FOXI and Indian Association of Diabetes, IADPSG, NICE, WHO, ACOG, and Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. The question arises, whom should we screen? Whether we do a universal screening or we screen only high risk patients. So most of the societies, they say we should do a universal screening because it is very common in India. And there are certain high risk situations, conditions, which we always keep in mind. And we should never miss screening, at least in these patients. BMI more than 30, first degree relatives or diabetics, past history of diabetes, history of PCOD, history of previous large baby, history of previous baby needed an ICU, our family from Africa or India and those countries which has got more prevalence for diabetes. Now the second question arises, how to screen these patients? Again, there are two schools of thought. The American says we want to do a 50-gram glucose test, and if it is more than 140, then they want their patients to go for a complete 100 grams oral glucose test 2 hourly next day in a fasting state. But the other guidelines, they say they are happy with 75 grams oral glucose test. This is also 75-gram test is also recommended by Ministry of Health and Family Welfare in 2018 guidelines. And if we see what we do in this is a single step screening test. It can be done any time of day, any week of pregnancy. Only 75 grams of glucose is mixed in a glass of water. We'll ask patient to consume in 5 to 10 minutes. A sample is collected exactly after 2 hours. So patient education is very important, that she should come and tell us that what time she had it. And result more than 40 is considered as gestational diabetes. Now, what are the advantages of 75 grams glucose test? The advantages are less hospital visit, less anxiety, less needles, less pain, less cost, and fasting is not required, less dropout rate, and initial visit is diagnostic also. So IADP SG guidelines says they are also happy with 75 grams, but they want this to be done in fasting state. Our India guideline says no need of fasting, and they take 153 as 2 hour cutoff for the to label them as gestational diabetes. So the third question arises, how frequently should we screen? Our DIPSI guideline says we should screen thrice, at the first visit, 24, and then 32 to 34 weeks. Ministry of Health says 2 times, first and 24 to 28 weeks. WHO and IADPSG also says only twice. NICE says only once in high risk and 2 times when patient is having history of gestational diabetes. And American says once in low risk and twice in high risk. So we should always keep in mind this, at least according to Ministry of Health, we should do at least 2 screening, and we should make a habit to do this in our day-to-day practice. There is a study which is conducted by FOXI and DIPSI, and they found 30% of patients are diagnosed with GDM in first trimester, and these 30 patients, out of them 25% patients gave history of some kind of fetal loss in previous pregnancy. So screening at first visit is very important. And how we interpret, we have already covered it. We should keep this in mind. DIPSI says 75 gram, fasting not required. And no point going for fasting in Indians because insulin resistance is already high. If single sample after 2 hours is more than 140, patient is labeled as gestational diabetic. So many times we see prescription in our OPD, advise GTT, no, stop doing this. We should write 75 grams oral glucose test, 2 hour single reading. Now coming to the counseling, the aim is same, to reduce anomalies, to reduce risk to mother and fetus. General advices are always given to all these patients, and these advices are stop smoking, stop alcohol. We'll review what medicines she's taking. We'll ask her to reduce her weight if she's obese. We'll ask her to use contraceptive until she's pregnant. Folic acid 5 milligrams and thyroid function should be normal. Rubella vaccination, if it is not antibodies negative, we should give. We should always do a pap smear, and we'll educate her how to use insulin syringe in case if she requires. There are certain specific guidelines for diabetes also. We'll ask her to control her blood sugar, fasting less than 95, PP less than 140. Ideal HbA1c should be less than 6.5, but up till 7 we accept. Diabetic medications is better to use insulin because insulin does not cause placenta. And if she's taking metformin in PCOD and type 2 diabetes, there is a lot of controversy. And this paper, which is published in 2014, says if patient take metformin and they compare with insulin, baby at the age of 12 months, they are more obese and their fat is more. But the recent guidelines, which are going to publish in 2011 in American Diabetic Association, they says if patient is more comfortable with metformin and it is difficult to take insulin, she can continue it. And BP medicines she should take, stop ACE inhibitor. Kidney medicines there should not be any teratogenic drug if she had a transplant or something. Cholesterol medicines, statins should be stopped, and complications should be screened. If she's having something, a diabetic retinopathy or any other retinopathy, it should be treated prior to getting pregnant. And prerequisites for renal disease, creatinine should be less than 1.4%, because if it is more than 1.4, there are 40% chances of developing progressive nephropathies. And we should consult a nephrologist and combined diabetologist also. Detailed history at first visit, very important. Acute complication, chronic complication, medical disorders, menstrual history. And first visit examination, including fundus, cardiac checkup, peripheral pulses, very important. Test at first visit, besides normal tests, we should do her HbA1c, kidney function test, ECG, thyroid function test, if required, echocardiography. And very important to educate our patient about warning symptoms of ketoacidosis and hypoglycemia. They are nausea, vomiting, polyuria, headache, fever, sweet ketotic smell in urine, vision disturbances, and later she can become unconscious also. So if she develops any of these symptoms, she should come to the doctor, should check her blood sugar immediately. Physical activity should be encouraged, any kind of physical activity, yoga, meditation, stretching exercises, pranayam. There's a recent publication which says if patient is doing physical activity, it is more easy to control her HbA1c levels. And dietary management is very important. Dr. Ira is going to discuss it in detail. And it has been seen if mother is taking a lot of sugary and fatty diet, her child, they develop obesity in early age. And this is a chart which says how we should advise them to write their blood sugar before breakfast, before after lunch, before after dinner. Any level reading which is above cutoff, they should make a circle and bring it back to the doctor for change of medicines. And in COVID era, the recent guideline says that DIPSI single test is recommended because only one visit is required in the hospital. So with this, I want to conclude my talk. It's a major public health problem emerging in India. Normal glycemic control is very important to prevent congenital anomalies early at 3 to 6 weeks. And pre-pregnancy counseling, diet, exercise, screening, treatment of complication, patient education is very, very important. Use of family planning method and proper planning of pregnancy are utmost important. Antenatal normal glycemia is very important to prevent maternal fetal mortality and morbidity. And DIPSI guidelines I will recommend, which are also supported by FOXI and quite similar to family planning, family health fair. To use this test, 75 grams oral glucose test. And screening and awareness will prevent diabetes in our new generation, and we can reduce the number of diabetes in our population. So thank you so much for your patient hearing. Thank you.
That was a wonderful presentation, Dr. Sujata. I would like our chairpersons to please, Dr. Kishore, a word from you. Please unmute yourself, Dr.
Dr. Kishore, please. We can't hear you, Dr. Kishore. Dr. Abha, anything you want to add on this?
Yes. I'm unmuted. Can I speak now?
Yes, yes.
Okay. It was a very nice presentation. It is very, very crisp and at a very fast speed. Wonderful. So, and it covered almost everything. I think I just wanted to just say that because we are getting increasing amount of these